Hey guys, this is Dr. Y here with the Holistic and Wellness Center of the Low Country. So you guys listen, I'm super duper excited being a ambassador sponsor for this company, Black Girl Vitamins. You guys listen, so when I'm drinking my tea, I like to put my collagen inside of my tea. And y'all listen, the skin is skinning along with the nails and the hair and the nails supplement as well, and the vitamin D as well. I'm telling you, so each morning when I get up, or it could be late afternoon, and I'm doing my tea, I put my collagen inside of it. The collagen doesn't have a taste, so it doesn't affect the taste of what you're actually drinking. So y'all listen right quick. So that Black Girl Vitamin, you guys, and collagen, also menopause, all that stuff. I need you guys to go ahead right quick, head over, and there's a code that's going to give you a good discount. So the code is LadyY843. Again, it's LadyY843. Get your Black Girl Collagen on today. Love you guys.
Hey guys, it is Tax Tip Tuesday, and this is your IRS warning for 2026. Look, the IRS is cracking down hard next tax season, and 3 things are under the microscope. First and foremost, dependents. If you're claiming kids or family, you need proof they live with you. School records, medical records, lease or utility bill, no proof, no credit. Side hustles, Cash App, Zelle, Venmo. Again, the IRS is watching. So if you made money, you need records to back it up. When it comes to your filing status, if you're claiming head of household, you better have paperwork showing you paid the bills and your dependent lived with you. Real talk, y'all. If your tax preparer isn't explaining this, you might be filing with the wrong one. So file smart, stay protected. The IRS is not playing in 2026.
Hey guys, how are you guys doing this amazing supernatural night? Y'all listen, it's been a minute. Well, last month, I want to say, or maybe the beginning of this month. Y'all listen, I'm excited about tonight's guest on Tea Talk with Prophetess Wives podcast. But y'all, before we get into the tea, I need you to do me a big favor and go ahead and share this podcast. We are live on YouTube. Hey YouTube, we're live on my page, my main page. We're live on Tea Talk with Prophetess Y. We'll be uploading some clips on TikTok and IG. Y'all listen, oh my God, I'm just excited about being back on this podcast. We had a lot going on. February, y'all, was pastoral anniversary, so we were in the grind digging with that. Then I came up with Turn Your Trauma into Purpose. Y'all, I'm telling you, that series is amazing as well. And now on tonight, we have Tea Talk with Prophetess Wise, Beauty for Ashes. Real people, real story, and guess what, y'all? Real transformation. So y'all listen, tonight's guest, y'all, I'm excited. I'm super duper excited. She's an amazing young lady. She's married as well, and she has a sweet, sweet spirit and a sweet soul. If you can't get along with her, I don't know what's going on. Something wrong with you. Real talk. But she is so sweet, y'all. And I'm like, when I was going through her pictures, I'm seeing the motorcycle. I'm like, all right, okay. Y'all, so listen, y'all, help me welcome the one and only Miss Karen Danzler. Blessings.
How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing amazing. So when I was going through your pictures, oh my God, beautiful family. I was going through your picture and I was looking and I'm like, I didn't connect the dots. I saw Stephanie, then I saw my little cousin, and I'm like, oh wow. So I saw pictures. I can tell you, you love family, friends, and I saw you with your husband. So you actually drive motorcycle? You drive or you riding the buggy, the little buggy
No,
thing?
no, I actually drive my
Karen was
motorcycle.
like, no, don't get it twisted. Listen, I drive. So right quick before we get into, a little about you, but so you actually drive the motorcycle.
I do.
So do you have a name? Is it her? He or she? Or you
I
didn't?
never named it.
You never
Never
named?
named it. No.
Never named
No.
it. So what was your first time like hopping on the motorcycle?
Um, as a kid, I rode 3-wheelers, 4-wheelers,
For
different
real?
things. Yeah.
Like how
Yeah.
old? That kid like?
Before I was a teenager.
Wow.
Yeah. So, kind of used to it.
Right.
And then I rode with Eric a couple times on his high booster, little crotch rocket thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I decided just to go get my own.
Wow.
And I'm not gonna try to balance a two-wheel bike.
Uh-huh.
So I wouldn't found the trike.
Wow.
Yeah. And I
So
love it.
wow. Okay, that's amazing. So she's like, no, I'm not on a booster, but I drive. So when you're
Right.
out there, how does it feel? Because when I'm on the highway, I see a lot of, I guess at a certain time of year or something, and I see they're following packs. And so like, what does it feel like is it like it's like, some people go fishing, like me, I'll go to the beach, the ground, or like my tea. So like when you get on the motorcycle, it's like you're in your own zone, enjoying the breeze. Like, what is that experience like?
It's very refreshing and relaxing.
It is.
Whether you're riding in a pack or by yourself,
Mhm.
it helps you clear your mind.
Mm.
You just get out there on the road and you don't think about anything but where you're going.
Where you going? Now, as a kid, my cousin, Antonio, he is a teenager. He had a bike, and I think I had a trauma moment. I think that's why I never got back on a bike as an adult, because you get not as a kid. I got on and I burned my leg. You know that you call a burn.
Right.
Oh, and ever since that childhood, I'm like, I never got back on a bike. Well, a fun fact, people don't realize my husband, before the weight gain came, of course, he's losing, y'all. I got to give him a shout out, y'all. He lost like 50 pounds. For real,
Good
for real.
job.
50 pounds, I'm telling you. And he had a bike. He had a bike, and Mimi, listen, was on that bike with him, but he had a bike. But as a kid, had that burn on my leg. Oh my God. And that was it for me. So that's good. So it's relaxing. It's this the breeze. Now I see some people when it's cold.
We ride some when it's cold, not quite as
But
much.
can you feel all that cold air?
You can, but I've when we were actually in New England area,
Mhm.
I had bought a full suit because it was so cold there.
Oh, so that's why I be having the suit on.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So when I came home and got on the bike, I put it on
right
over your clothes.
Right. So y'all do like long rides, country rides?
Sometimes. We have been as far down as Jacksonville with them.
For real?
That's as far as we've
From
so far.
Waltersburg?
Yeah.
To Jacksonville?
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, you gotta take breaks. So y'all just one shot.
No, not really breaks. Just enough to catch your breath.
Right.
From the heat, whatever. Because we went down in like June.
Oh yeah,
so it was really hot.
It's hot.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. Awesome. So y'all listen right quick. We are live on the podcast today. We have the one and only Miss Karen Danza. So I know I spoke with you earlier. We actually set podcasting like a month or two in advance. And I know you said today is actually a special day, the 19th, March.
Yeah. My older sister Annette, she was mentally handicapped. And so I wasn't raised with her, but I knew who she was.
Right.
She had been in a nursing facility all of her life. She passed away at 21 back in 90. And today is her birthday.
So. Wow. We can just do a moment of silence. And I want you to wait, if you can get in a thought, like a good moment that you remember about your sister. I know you have many, but just one. So we can take a moment of silence. Thank you. So what's one good moment, fun moment you remember about your sister?
Well, like I said, she was 6 years older than me.
Wow.
And when she was a baby, she ran a high fever and a fried brain. So I don't really have too many memories with her.
Oh, wow.
I do remember going down to the facility where she was and spending some time with her. And the main person she followed was my mom's dad.
Right.
She would hear his voice and she would just follow him. face, headwise,
Right,
just turn
right.
her head towards where he was. But I
Wow.
said, I was a kid,
Right.
so I
You was a
don't
kid.
remember a whole lot.
Remember a whole lot.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I was like, you want to change the date? He's like, it's a special date. So no, let's go ahead and do it. So I want to thank you for coming on. Would you say you're an introvert or an extrovert?
More of an introvert. I do talk to some people on
Right.
the outside of my norm.
Right.
But yeah, I have to know you to really talk
To
to
really,
you.
really talk.
Yeah.
All right. So let's hop into, because everybody don't know who Karen is. We're gonna talk about the business. Once again, congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm gonna be over there. I got to up on my pearls. I went through my jewelry the other night. I'm like, I need some more pearls. So Curtis, I get his pockets ready. So when I get over there, so let's kind of talk back elementary. Did you go to school here?
I did.
All right. So what elementary school did you go to?
From kindergarten to 5th grade, I stayed at Hampton Street.
Okay.
Yeah, because once 3rd grade come around, they turn around and put 4th and 5th grade right there. So I always went to Hampton Street School.
Got you. So how was that? What kind of kid you would say you were in elementary?
I was always quiet. I stayed to myself.
Mm-hmm.
Had a few friends. Didn't deal with a lot of people.
Right. So what middle school?
Definitely stayed to myself. 6th grade, I clammed.
Right.
I didn't really talk to a whole lot.
Right.
7th and 8th grade, I opened up just a little bit different. Curtis became one of my closest friends, and Jim. We group of us would always sit together, and he was one.
It is weird. That's weird because you're quiet, and he's loud. He was loud. He was. People don't realize that he always had a sense of humor.
Yeah.
And it's funny because when he tell like the members, the kids of like he was rough, he was like bad. They was like, no, I don't see it. So you can touch some light on that for real. He was
a clown. He was always wanting to be the jokester. So yeah. I don't know about him getting into trouble, but yeah.
Yeah.
He always kept us laughing.
Always kept y'all laughing.
Yeah.
He's until this very day, he's still doing the same thing. So how do you feel? Because now we know in Carlton County that they because when you went to school and when I went to school as well, it was a 6th grade by itself, and then it was the 7th and 8th, right? So how do you feel now, if you have any input about them putting down the 6th grade to back with elementary? What do you think about that?
I don't think they should do that.
Why do you think so?
I mean, it's time for the kids at that age really to grow, and being where they are now with 6th, 7th, and 8th all together. Even though they're still separated, they are, they're together.
Right.
And they need that time to grow.
Right.
You don't need to hold them back into elementary and keep them in a child's like mind.
Right.
My oldest grand is in 6th grade.
In 6th grade. Wow.
Because
you're right. You want to, because it seemed like even when I remember with Daquan, our daughter, and 6, and even the kids in the church, it's something about that transition. 6th grade, 6th and 7th is like they're trying to find out, like who they are, their identity. So you feel like they're putting them back in baby mode, and now they're gonna just jump out in 7th and 8th.
Yeah, and I don't think that's right.
Right. Wow.
They just keep it the way it is. Keep the 6th grade separated from everything else, even though they still kind of interact.
Got you.
Keep them where they are, because they have to start feeling, a little bit more grown than what they are. You keep them in elementary, it's not.
Right.
It's not, I don't think it's a good mental for them.
Yeah. Right. And you're right. We're not thinking about, and I said I mean the system. They're not thinking about the mental capacity of it. Like, what?
Right.
They think about the physical part. Like, this. They get it. Wow. So let's talk about, while we're there, siblings. How many are you? The youngest, the oldest? Well, I knew you said Annette is the oldest.
Right. Annette's the oldest. My younger sister is Crystal.
Okay.
So I'm the middle child. No brothers.
No brothers. Wow. I know that because I raised in the house with all sisters too. Right. So no brothers, is all 3 girls.
Right.
So then Stephanie is your niece.
Stephanie's my daughter.
Your daughter. Oh, so your granddaughter is my cousin. Oh, wow.
Maria.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. So you have this one child?
I have two.
A girl
and a boy. Daryl.
Okay. So, sibling, how was it being raised in the house with just 3 girls? Well, he says 2 of you guys, right?
Yeah, it was just the 2 of us. We had a good life. Parents did what they could. You know, they break their backs to do whatever they could for us, make sure, everything was lined up where it needed to be, where we didn't have to worry about struggles or anything else.
Right.
We didn't really go to stay with other friends and stuff. My mom was a stickler for that. She was very protective.
Listen, people don't realize that even Karen, even right now to this day, I don't encourage people sleepovers. And it's funny because my parents, they never allowed sleepovers. I didn't understand it then as a child, but as an adult, I understand it even more. Even when I'm helping with clients and I have to go back to, pull trauma out and the abuse and, and it's in the family. The abuse, people don't realize that it's in the family. And we always don't, we're looking at strangers, and we should, but we're not looking about what uncle, auntie, you know what I'm saying? So that's good. So your mom's like, I ain't no sleeping out.
That's right.
So I found a picture of your mom, your dad, as well. If we can put that up, amazing. Awesome. So your dad was strict?
No, not really. My mom was more the strict one. Dad, he worked, come home, eat dinner, play with the kids, always doing something outside.
Right.
He was never strict.
Never strict. So you couldn't get over, but mom was strict.
Yeah, mom was the more strict.
That's how I am. Listen, our kids, did you guys do that with your parents? Like our kids, they know certain things that come to me with, but some things they want to get over, they go to dad. And even in the stores, they'll go they'll trail behind him. They know because I was a strict one. So do you find yourself being strict, or are you the easy one as well? Then.
Well, I raised my kids by myself.
Wow.
So yeah, I had to be both.
A girl and a boy.
Yeah.
By yourself.
Yeah. Wow. My parents helped with, Stephanie, because I had to finish school and all, but yeah, I had to be the parent.
Wow.
For both. Be the strict one, be the gentle one, be whatever they needed.
Right. So. Awesome. So let's kind of go into high school. Now, how was your high school days? So first of all, what class are you?
93.
93.
I was supposed to graduate 93. I graduated 96.
Okay. Well, you did it.
Yeah.
Was that a push?
Yeah. I had, like I said, I had my daughter in high school. So
what grade were you in?
Good question. I was 16, so wow. I don't know, 10th, 11th.
Right. Yeah. So how was that? Did you hide the pregnancy? I'm asking because that's what I did. My senior year, I was pregnant my senior year in high school, and my parents didn't know I was pregnant, Karen, until I was like 7, 8 months.
I was close to 6 months.
Because I hid it.
I told my parents. We went down to Disney World.
Oh, you don't listen.
And rode all the rides.
Listen. I'm saying that. Listen, because I went on a senior trip, and we went to Universal Studios, and that's when everything came out. I was pregnant. So go ahead.
We went down, rode all the rides. He was like, "You sure you need to ride them rides?" I said, "I'm gonna ride these rides." I said, "Something come out wrong with your child, and but she's fine."
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I didn't tell my parents till we come back.
And how did you do that? Like, how was that scenery?
I didn't. My mom's sister did. Alice, Kim's mom. Y'all know Kim.
I remember Alice and Mr. Tom. We got our first apartment in Bay Meadows, and they kind of kept us balanced because we were teenagers. We got married right out of high school,
right?
And so they're in the. You remember us? Yeah. So yeah, and they lived the first right there, right across from us, and it kind of kept us balanced, if that makes sense,
right? So
Alice, your auntie, ended up telling your mom,
yeah.
And how was that?
She was upset. But then she was like, "Well, it's too late to do anything. You still got to finish school, or whatever." And I was like, "Yes, ma'am, I'm finish school."
Right.
So then right around that time, Kim had to tell her mom the same thing.
So you and Kim was pregnant at the same time. Oh. Yep. So y'all, we're going to pour this tea And we're gonna come back to the other T and find out how in the world 2 cousins, right?
Right.
2 cousins. You can't. All right, y'all. We're gonna pour the tea. I don't know what's going on, y'all, but it's stuck. But it's gonna be unstuck in a minute. So we're gonna pour this tea on tonight. So you and Kim pregnant at the same time. How many months apart it was y'all?
2. I had Stephanie October the 25th, and she had Antonio December the 21st.
So did she know that Kim was pregnant?
I think we kind of told her mom at the same time.
Oh,
yeah. So
your aunt Alice ended up telling your mom, and she was like, you definitely too far gone.
Yeah.
And we're gonna get this. So then, what was that transition like? And I'm asking this question so you can encourage, someone. I believe in that space because so many times I remember, well, growing up in the community that I did, they were like, oh, you had one child, she can be pregnant again, have all these kids, X, Y, Z. So what was it like, as you said you had to kind of step back for a couple years. What was it like in that phase of stepping back because now you're a teenage mom?
It was rough.
Mm-hmm.
I literally took a full school year, term off.
Mm-hmm.
And it was rough trying to get back in.
Why you say it was rough?
Leaving her for one.
Right.
And then when I got to school, or went to try to get back into school, and there for the first couple of weeks, I did fine. And Mr. Pence was like, I don't think you're going to finish.
Ooh.
Really? Bob Pence.
What?
So Coach Bullock came to me.
I remember Coach Bullock.
And he was like, I think we're going to find something easier for you. Wow. He said, we have a program that we're going to put you in to help you so your hours aren't quite as long at school.
Yeah.
And you can be home with your child.
But think about this. The principal?
Yeah.
Discouraged. I mean, if you don't get the encouragement from the principal, who else are you going to get it from? I mean, within the school system.
Exactly.
So then when he was saying that as a young kid, what were you thinking? Like, what were you saying? Like, I'm not going to be able to do it.
I told him, I said, I'm not giving up. And Coach Bullock put me in with Ms. Beverly Parnell and Ms. Carolyn Wynn over at the Alternative.
Right.
And that's where I finished from.
Wow. So you had to do schoolwork and then still be a parent to your daughter.
Right.
At the same time. What do you think that gave you that push, that zeal to say, I'm not giving up? I got to do this.
It was her.
It was her.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I had a lot of help from my parents.
Right.
My mom on her own business, so she was able to help me take care of her. I didn't have to worry about daycare.
So. I know that feel like my mom, when our daughter DeQuanda too. I mean, parents are definitely a blessing.
Yeah, you know. Are.
Yeah. Wow. So now you went back, in '96, and you graduated. What was that feeling like? Like walking that stage and like, I did it.
It was wonderful. Started college before I even finished high school.
Ooh. How you do that now? Let's talk about that.
With my grades and all the way that they were, I was taking drafting under Mr. Kubik.
Okay.
And I had talked to Miss Parnell about it, and she was like, I'll sign the paper for you to go ahead and start college.
Wow.
She said, your grades are excellent. She said, there's no sense in us holding you here. Wow. She said, you can finish it off. I was doing night classes in Beaufort for college.
And where are you going to college for?
Engineering graphics technology.
Wow. What made you pick that that tactic?
Well, I started with the drafting, like I said, under Mr. Kubik. I'd always enjoyed doing different drawings and stuff. I had Miss Waddell in high school.
I had her too. What was the other lady name that when you Art 1 and you went over to Art 2? We were trying to remember. Me and Curtis were trying to remember this lady. We was trying to remember her name for the past couple of months. We could not remember her name.
I don't know.
It was Miss Waddell. After you did Art 1 at Miss Waddell, it was the other lady when you do Art 2. We were trying to get who that lady was.
I didn't go to her after Miss Waddell. I didn't. That's when I was pregnant with Stephanie. I have Miss Waddell.
Right. You couldn't tell me I couldn't paint. I remember me and Nanisha, because I was a freshman and they had a bunch of seniors in the class. And you couldn't tell me that I can do that. How you do the self sketch of each other. You couldn't tell me, man.
I still have mine.
You still have, wow. But when I got the art too, I'm like, wait a minute, I barely passed art two. Because I'm thinking about it was just about drawing, but art two was you got to get into the definition of what is drawing, what you got to get into the analytics of it. And I'm like, oh, this ain't for me. I'm definitely ain't gonna do this.
Yeah.
So you did the guy,
right?
And you went to college. And how was it in college?
It was pretty good. I worked Waffle House and went to college. They're just trying to juggle life.
Right.
I enjoyed it. Only ended with I did just a certificate. I never finished, to do anything else with it.
Right.
And I've had multiple jobs and stuff since,
Right.
just between waitressing, nursing.
Right.
And now running my own business.
I know that's right. Listen, so you're going to the alternative school and college at the same time.
Right.
Just doing it. A young lady.
Yeah.
That baby. Got to keep pushing.
That's right.
So now your son comes in the picture.
Yeah. He was born in 2000.
Mm-hmm.
I won't say he's my trouble child, but he's definitely my challenge. Even at 25.
Uh-huh.
He's a good kid though.
Yeah.
He loves his mama.
Right. So now you got a girl and a boy. What's the difference in personality type?
Well, they're both very outgoing.
Mm-hmm.
They're both rambunctious. They used to fight as kids.
For real?
Yeah.
So
even though they were 8 years apart, they would fight.
Now let me ask this question here, because we have this issue in our family. We have a girl and a boy, and our daughter DeQuana, she's the oldest, and CJ is younger. They're 10 years apart. So did your son thought he was the oldest?
I think sometimes he still does. Yeah.
They do that, especially boys.
Yeah. Yeah, he's very protective over his sister.
And that's how CJ is.
They get on each other's nerves, but he's protective over his sister.
Is he taller than Stephanie?
Oh, yeah.
That's how DeQuana is. And DeQuana's like, CJ, I'm the oldest. He's like, you're short. So your grandbabies, let's talk about them.
Korea, she's the oldest. Well, Stephanie's oldest.
Right.
Well, Stephanie has 3, so she has
Right.
Korea, Zoe, and Wesley.
Right.
Korea be, let me lie to you, 12 in July.
12.
Yep. Zoe just turned 7 in February, and Wesley be 4 in August.
Wow. August what?
2nd. And then Daryl has a little girl.
Mm-hmm.
Her name is Zanata. She'll be 4 August the 22nd.
That's my sister's birthday. Both of them. I don't know. Right now to this day, I don't know how my parents did it, because my one is born in 1983 and the other is born in 1979, and their birthday the same exact day. I still don't get how they did that, but nevertheless, that's their birthday. Okay, so they're your joy as well.
Oh yeah, I love my babies now.
Yeah. So which one is like just talkative?
That would probably be Zoe, Zanata, and Wesley. Korea she's the shy child.
Right.
And Zoe are my tomboys. And Zoe is more like, she's the character.
She's good. Which would keep you on your toes.
Oh yeah.
The character?
Yeah. Yeah. She does.
What do they call you? Now, what's your name now? What do they call you? Are you Gigi?
No,
are you?
They call me Mama.
Mama?
Mama. Korea couldn't say grandma, and it always came out Mama, and that's the way it stayed.
Right.
And then Wesley, he's the boy. He's a little bit of everything. He can be shy if he doesn't know you.
Right.
So I guess he kind of gets that from me because he didn't get it from his mom and daddy. But he is, like I said, everything. He's the character. He's definitely the boy. He's rambunctious.
Right.
So
that's amazing. So let's go into, your husband. So Eric, right?
Right.
So I see when I saw the pictures, I'm like, he's here. And I'm like, so let's talk about the love of your life.
More like the aggravation of my life.
I saw the pictures, the wedding pictures. Well, I did saw the reception a while back. I want to say a couple of years back, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we've been married a year and a half.
A year, okay, a year and a half. Okay, I saw it way back. So I saw the some wedding pictures when you guys got married. So let's talk about the proposal. How was how did he propose to you? Because he's shy too.
Sometimes he so our first date that we ever went out, we just went and done a few things and had a few drinks and rode around. We went to the waterfall on Main Street.
Okay.
And we just sat and chatted and stuff that night. So when he decided to propose, we went out to eat and came back, and he was on the phone with Kel. And he's like, all right, I'll call you back. He says, we fixing to stop right here at the waterfall. I said, okay, again. So we got out and he decided to propose.
Oh, he was on one knee?
No, he sat down beside me.
He said it took a little bit too old for this right there one knee thing. So yeah, he said, would you marry me?
Yeah.
And then you said yes or
yes? Yes.
I'm dramatic now. Like, yes. Oh my God.
I wasn't dramatic with it, but I was like, yeah.
You could tell I'm an extrovert, right? Like, so all right. So he was like, yes.
Yeah.
Right. You told your family and friends. They probably already knew. They already knew.
Yeah, I guess that, they kind of knew. We'd only been engaged maybe 6-7 months before we got married.
Wow. It's I'm gonna say it's funny because I was talking about this a while back, which we have relationship ministry as well. And we're talking about when a man knows that woman is the woman, it doesn't take 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. So it did.
He and I had actually been together 9 years.
9
before he proposed. Yeah.
Well, he about to. I'm glad he woke up. He about to lose that good woman. So right. So we're talking about that. That doesn't take long, So he been new. It just was delayed.
He just had to get himself together.
Yeah, and I think a lot of men, they want to make sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm glad he did, made sure and move quickly. So what would you say to women that, they're like, I'm waiting. What will you say to them?
Well, I mean, you have to have patience with them. And I know a lot of people say, well, my clock's ticking.
Yeah.
Or, whatever. If you're young and y'all been together 10 years and you're not engaged, not getting married, to me, it's time to move on. I mean, I'm 50.
Yeah.
So, like I said, we've only been married a year and a half.
Right.
So, I mean, at this point in my life, if we would have never got married, we would have never got married.
Wow.
But we did, and I'm glad we did.
Yeah. Yeah. Y'all are a beautiful couple too.
Thank you.
A beautiful couple. And then you guys have, that, have in common, going and ride, you have interest, if that makes sense. Right.
Yeah.
Awesome. And what did the grandbabies call him?
Just call him Eric.
Eric.
Yeah. I tell him every once in a while, that's a granddaddy, but they'll call him Eric.
Eric. Wow. That's amazing. We know you have a beautiful mother-in-law as well.
Yeah. Right.
Awesome. So then now let's kind of go. I'm going to a few other questions. And I thank you too for coming on tonight again. So let's talk a little bit before we get into the questions, your business. What was that adventure like?
Well, I lost both my parents in 2019.
Wow. That's COVID year right there.
Yeah. Well, they both passed from cancer. So it was before COVID actually came in strong. And then in 20, I decided to start something. I wasn't working. I had stopped with Dr. Kumar's office in January of 2020. And I came across Lori Adams. And we started talking and fell in love with her and her personality and watched her with her lives and was purchasing jewelry from her. And she taught me in joining, paparazzi. So went from there. Like I said, I've been, I guess, March of 20. That's when I started with them. And last July, I came out of the business. And then I
came
was
out.
Right. Because I was, I had been in it for so long and
Mm.
wasn't really doing a lot with it.
Right.
Because like I said, I don't do lives. So when I came back in July, I was like, okay, I'm gonna open a store.
Mm.
And I came back under Natalie Fields.
Okay.
So it's definitely been an adventure with it, trying to get the store started.
Right.
Like I said, I opened it in July, or started with it in July, and I didn't get it open until November.
Wow.
It was just a long process trying to get everything together.
Right. What would you say to someone, Karen, that they want to start that business and they say it's not right, it's not right time, it's not right time? What will you say if you look at that camera right there? What will you say to them that they want to start but just don't know how?
The thing that I can say is, don't say it's not the right time. Go ahead and do it. The business we started first was the transportation. That was Eric's baby.
Mm-hmm.
But I had to put everything together. I did all the paperwork, all the legwork.
Mm-hmm.
And then so when we decided to start out with opening the store, I just had to do it. And he pushed me to do it.
Yes.
He was like, no, he's like, this is what you need to be doing. This is what you want to do. Go ahead and do it. Don't put off today.
Yeah.
Or don't put off, tomorrow what you can do today.
Right.
So, just do it.
And that support system.
Right.
Like I said, you help him with his baby and he turned around and encouraged you with your baby.
Right.
And that's a blessing right there. Wow. So just do it. Just do it. So grand opening day, what was that like?
I was supposed to do a grand opening on Black Friday, but with the weather being cold and rainy, it didn't happen.
Right.
We'd already had it lined up to do, the food, and the guy who we helped pull boats with, he was going to come cook on the grill and different things like that. But like I said, it just didn't happen. So I actually haven't had a grand opening yet. Right.
But it's to come in the future.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to try to look into maybe doing something in July.
Awesome.
Being my year back into the business.
Right. So you're not new to this business. You're not new to jewelry. You're not new to these accessories.
Right.
You've been in it. You just decided, you know what? Since I don't like doing lives, but you come see me in live.
Right.
So what's your hours?
Right now with the business not being picked up to where, I was hoping it would be, I have my hours at 10 to 3. But once it starts to pick up, I'll be open from 9 to 6.
So right now you're doing 10 to 3. And that's what days are those?
Monday through Friday. And then Saturday it's 10 to 3. That too. Once the business picks up, Saturday still stay until 3.
Right. Do you have any prom specials coming up?
I can do some. I haven't really thought about it. I know that I was doing 10% off with certain things.
Wow. Where you promote that at? I ain't seen 10% off.
Yeah, I did it on TikTok and on Facebook.
Oh, see, I'm just getting used to TikTok. Oh my goodness. I'll start TikTok and be so good, faithful, and then I'll backslide on her and I'll go back to Facebook. Now I'm on Facebook now. I'm listening, I'm in it, but TikTok, I'm like, and let's don't talk about Snapchat. I can't even do that. I can't even keep up with that. So you have so when you gonna run that special again? Y'all like, when you gonna run that special again?
I try to run it during the holidays.
Okay. So we got Resurrection Easter coming up.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Awesome. So you have Easter, Resurrection coming up, and you have prom season, and you're ready for us to come in there and shop.
Yeah, I am. It's open.
Yeah. It was a store, and that's what your store kind of reminded me. I remember back, it was like years back when I was going inside the mall. I think it was Northwoods Mall, or maybe the one in Pula, and they had this jewelry store. And for real, and nothing but jewelry, nothing but accessories. And I forgot what you call it, but yeah, that's what your store reminded me of. You can go there and you can just get your jewelry and you can pick it up, all that good stuff.
Right.
Awesome.
I was thinking Claire's.
That's what it is.
That's what it was. Sells a little bit of other stuff.
Yeah. Apostle, what you talking about? Oh my God. So that's what it is, Claire's. That's what it was. That either back now. He wasn't back in the day. You sure back in the day?
That was back in the day. I couldn't say last time I was in either.
My God. But yeah, it was clear. You can go and just find out. Do you have a pearl? I'm asking, but I know I'm being rhetorical. You have that pearl section too. I love pearls
I
and
have
butterflies.
I have a few butterflies.
Oh my God.
I do have. Well, I don't really have a section for the pearls.
Yeah.
But I do have a good bit.
Mhm.
It's like I had someone in there earlier, and they were looking at the last Z piece I have that has the pearls.
Mm.
And it's more like the choker.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, so up close.
Right.
It looks like it has a brooch.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm into brooches and things of that nature. Glory to Jesus. So yeah. So I love pearls. So I got this piece from you guys. So I mean, you're right around the corner now. So I can just, I ain't got to worry about shipping no more. I can just
That's
go and
right.
pick up. So what will you say to the people and the citizen of Carlton County and around about coming to see you?
Come on out and see me, and we can always work on some deals if you come in and you purchase enough. I do try to do 10% off if you purchase over $50.
Okay.
Regardless of what day of the week it is.
Oh wow.
If it's a holiday or not.
Right.
Just trying right now to
Right.
get it out there.
To get out there. So what's your address to your location?
It's 126 North Memorial Avenue.
Mhm.
It's at the end of Main Street.
Okay.
It's right next to Low Country Nutrition.
Okay. Y'all got that? We will pop that in as well. And two, what if they're off and they're like, I need you to ship? Do you do that as well?
Yeah, I do ship.
Right. Okay. So even if you guys are off, she can still ship you some jewelry pieces. And people are really sleeping on you. I mean, because I got some great pieces. I like for real, like especially if you're going to church. I'm being honest. When I said everything I got down from the ring, from the earrings, from the necklace, all of that good stuff, brooch, all that. So y'all sleeping on them, on how you say that? Because I be messing up.
Paparazzi.
Paparazzi. I be messing up. Now I'm gonna tell you what I used to say back when it first came out. I thought it was Perez.
You thought it was what?
Perez. Y'all know ain't no shame in my game. I thought it was Perez. I thought it was Perez. Like, no, I'm Perez. What was paparazzi?
Yeah.
Y'all know my country, my southern tone. I thought it was Perez back then. I did. Y'all, we're gonna move to a few questions and then we're gonna let you go ahead and go.
Okay.
All right. So we on this series and it's called Beauty for Ashes. And I love this series because every in the process the process that Cole had to come to become a pearl, it's amazing. Even with the butterfly, that's why I love butterfly. Butterflies, because a butterfly had to go through a transition,
right,
for life to come. I don't know about anybody else, but through my lives, I had more than one. Through my life, I had some caterpillar experience, some cocoon experience.
Right.
So when you hear the term beauty for ashes, what does that personally means to you?
Beauty for ashes to me means more like where God has brought you from something, from your sorrows, your heartache, your troubles.
Yeah.
And without him, like with losing my parents 36 days apart.
I was about to ask you that too.
Yeah.
What ashes moment you had?
Yeah.
36 days apart?
Yeah. Both from cancer. And my mom didn't get checked like she should have. She took care of him and wasn't taking care of herself.
And something, Karen, I remember when Curtis was going through his cancer, experience as well. And he was going through, and when I say that, people like, oh, cancer, he went through a blood cancer. And a blood cancer is a little different than, you can't cut that out, and the thing about it is, the bone marrow, they wanted to do a stem cell transplant, to work on the stem cells. And long story short, they wanted to get our son down and get our daughter. And I'm like, we can't take them through that. God, it has to be. And God said, yeah, you're a naturopath doctor. What are you talking about? Yeah. But anyways, to make a long story short, the counselor, the advocate, she called and she said, how are you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm doing good. I'm doing fine. I'm doing, I'm like, I'm doing fine. And she said, no, stop. how are you doing? She said a caregiver never takes a minute to figure out how they, when you said that, that kind of triggered a moment because I'm like, I'm doing good. I'm not, he's the one I need to take care of him. And so your mom was taking care of your dad and really didn't pay, attention to herself.
Right. And then once he passed and it was time for her to be taken care of, my Dr. Kumar's office told me to stay home and take care of her. So Stephanie would be there, my sister would be there, I would be there, Alice and Doris would be there. And really, Alice did a lot for both my parents.
Excuse me. You can take a break. Can you go to commercial?
Okay.
Still stuck? Okay.
I'm all right. She did a lot. She made sure that they both got back and forth to his appointments and she cooked for him and everything else.
Right. And people don't realize, Karen, that cancer, man. Oh my God, that journey, people really don't understand. And I went through that journey. I went through that journey with my mom, went through that journey with my husband, and it really didn't hit. But I'm telling you, people don't realize it. You go through, it's a financial part of it.
Oh, yeah.
People don't, we lost everything, because your mind is like, okay, I just need to do this, get them right. And my loved one, and people don't understand the magnitude of what really go through. You got to, oh man, I don't want to make it about us, but I know that journey. I know you got to make sure they're bathed, make sure they go to the bathroom. If they have something on themselves, you got to wash, you got to clean.
Right.
And people don't realize, that you got it. All right, let's go to a break. Hey guys, this is Dr. Y here with the Holistic and Wellness Center of the Low Country. So you guys listen, I'm super duper excited being a ambassador sponsor for this company, Black Girl Vitamins. You guys listen, so when I'm drinking my tea, I like to put my collagen inside of my tea. And y'all listen, the skin is skinning along with the nails and the hair and the nails supplement as well, and the vitamin D as well. I'm telling you, so each morning when I get up, or it could be late afternoon, and I'm doing my tea, I put my collagen inside of it. The collagen doesn't have a taste, so it doesn't affect the taste of what you're actually drinking. So y'all listen right quick. So that Black Girl Vitamin, you guys, and collagen, also menopause, all that stuff. I need you guys to go ahead right quick, head over, and there's a code that's going to give you a good discount. So the code is LadyY843. Again, it's LadyY843. Get your Black Girl Collagen on today. Love you guys. Hey guys, this is Dr. Y here with the Holistic and Wellness Center of the Low Country. So you guys listen, I'm super duper excited being a ambassador sponsor for this company, Black Girl Vitamins. You guys listen, so when I'm drinking my tea, I like to put my collagen inside of my tea. And y'all listen, the skin is skinning along with the nails and the hair and the nails supplement as well, and the vitamin D as well. I'm telling you, so each morning when I get up, or it could be late afternoon, and I'm doing my tea, I put my collagen inside of it. The collagen doesn't have a taste, so it doesn't affect the taste of what you're actually drinking. So y'all listen right quick. So that Black Girl Vitamin, you guys, and collagen, also menopause, all that stuff. I need you guys to go ahead right quick, head over, and there's a code that's going to give you a good discount. So the code is LadyY843. Again, it's LadyY843. Get your Black Girl Collagen on today. Love you guys. y'all. Amen. Glory to God. So we already talked about it, Offset as well. So you would say that was a beauty for ashes. Next, your question: how were you able to like pick up the pieces and pull Karen together?
Family.
Mm.
My little Zoe. she was actually born between my parents' passing.
Oh wow.
And
I got chills to that. Wow.
she I call her my sunshine. Because like I said, that's when my dad passed February the 8th.
Mm-hmm.
My mom found out she had cancer February the 20th. Zoe was born February the 21st, and my mom passed March 16th. Wow. So that's what she was that having her being born was a big help with a lot of stuff.
Right.
And Eric kept me busy. He wouldn't let you sit still, kept wanting to go places and do things. He said, my kids.
Right.
You know.
So then not only your sister's death on the 19th, your mom, her birthday, and then your mom. So then how do you navigate March?
That one was hard.
Actually February and March.
Yeah. In March, when my mom passed, like I said, she passed on the 16th. And then, of course, like I said, my older sister's birthday is today. Normally with, they would have been buried within those few days. And I was like, I'm not burying her on my sister's birthday. So we buried her on the 20th.
Wow.
Yeah. Like I said,
you're a strong woman. You're a strong woman.
Try to be.
You're a strong woman.
Like I said, between Eric and, like I said, it was Kriya and then Zoe came in, like I said, right at that time, and my kids.
Right.
And my sister, that we talked a lot.
Right.
Cried on each other's shoulders.
Right.
Stuff.
So family is so important, especially during those hours. Family is definitely important. That's your leaning. And like you said, your husband, he was there for you to lean on. He kept you busy. What would you say to someone now, Karen, even as you continue your healing process? What would you say to someone that is trying to figure it out, with their parents?
Well, you have to take the time to grieve. If your parents are still here, love them.
Amen.
Love them as much as you can love them.
I receive that.
Like I said, when they're gone, they're gone. It's a hard process. Especially losing them so close together. Now, I can't say how people would feel if I lost one today and lost one 10 years ago.
Right.
Because I don't.
Right.
I don't know. I can't say, well, you were healed from that before you lost your other.
Right.
I don't know how people feel.
Right. What would you say to family members that, maybe didn't experience it, but what you say, if you can shine a little light, give some wisdom on it, that family members that when the immediate family is going through that, what can you say to them? What can they do to help? Instead of making it more difficult for them, what can you say they can do to like help in that process?
Basically just be an ear. Make sure they don't need anything, and maybe not financially, but come by, make sure they're eating, make sure if there's anything needs to be done in the house, help them.
Right.
The church where my parents went to is next door to the house. And Mr. Tommy and his wife, Miss Gladys, were wonderful. He was the pastor at the time.
Right.
And Mr. Tommy Garrick.
Right.
They did a lot for my parents.
That's good.
They come over and make sure everything was good. They was always buying food. When my dad was in the hospital, he would come and give me money, make sure your mom was eating. You've got to have support.
Got you.
Whether they're in their process of leaving you or they're gone, you've got to have support somewhere.
Amen.
Because if you don't, you're mentally going to break down.
Jesus. Amen. Thanks for shining some light and some wisdom on that. Amen. All right. Next, a few more questions. What did the beginning season taught you about yourself in business as you're preparing to go and open a brick and mortar? What did you what did it teach you? What did you learn? What did you learn about you, Karen?
That's a good question. I really haven't thought about that, you know. Um, well, I mean, I learned that I have to be strong with everything.
Mm.
You know, even though, like I said, I had family that a push,
Mm-hmm.
you know, like Eric. My daughter has been helping a lot.
Mm-hmm.
She's been making sure, you know, my signs and stuff been made, my shirts and stuff were made.
Awesome. I love it.
Thank you.
And it's called Danzler's Hidden Gems.
Gyms.
Mm.
Yeah. You know, you've got to be mentally prepared to get into it.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like I said, I started in July and didn't open until Black Friday.
Yeah.
So it was really mental
Right.
on me, you know,
Right.
and I had to learn to be able to get it together and
Mm-hmm.
make myself want to go up there and get it done.
Mm.
Between that and being on the road with Eric.
Right. So people think being in business is easy, but they don't realize when the doors are closed, we're still working.
Yeah. Definitely. You're trying to make sure everything's together for the next day, or you know, make sure you got all your papers together, make sure you don't mess up anything when it's time for your taxes.
You better come on. So. You better come on. Yeah. You got to make sure of that. And two, the other part is that, you know, accountability. You know, when okay, like, you know, when you're a 9 to 5, you be like, okay, you know, I got to get up. But then business, like, we're turning the keys, but we like, listen, I got to beat it. If I say I'm gonna open at 10, I got to be there at 10. And listen, when we first
haven't
opened,
got that discipline yet.
Listen, we're still learning, and we're 20 years later. We're about 20 years later. Well, actually, almost 22 years later. We've been open.
Wow, that's a long time.
Yeah. So we still learning it. We're still learning, especially when you're in ministry, going, children, like kids back, and especially, like I said, offset. People don't realize when my husband went through that, you know, he was 3 straight months in the hospital.
Right.
It was right after the family, you know, had got murdered. And we were closed for almost in and out for a good year. A good year.
Yeah.
A good year. So you learn to, like you say, so what do you say it taught you again?
I mean, like I said, you've got to, like you said, you got to have that accountability. You've got to have that mental state. Like I said, and I still haven't got there to turn that key, being there before 10 o'clock.
But we're gonna get there, right?
We're gonna get there. And I hear Eric every morning. You ain't got there yet. You in the store yet? If he's out somewhere, you know, on the road, he'll call me. You in the shop yet? Like, no, not yet. I'm fixing to walk out the door.
Oh Lord, we're gonna get there. All right. What's the next one is? What has been? Well, I'll say I asked that question. I was gonna say, what was one of your hardest push in open business? But you already pretty much answered that in the beginning. All right. Let's talk a little bit about Beauty for Ashes. What did rebuilding look like for you personally? What I mean, what did rebuilding look like, as in where you had to become that, you know, that single mom for your daughter and your son? What did that rebuilding stage in that point of your life, what did that look like?
Well, like I said, I had a lot of help from my parents.
Mm-hmm.
Even with my son, I didn't have quite as much help with him as I did with her.
Mm-hmm.
My parents basically raised Stephanie.
Mm-hmm.
When, like I said, I finished high school, college, worked 2 jobs. You know, like I said, they took care of her before, I guess, up until 3rd, 4th grade.
Right.
She lived with them a lot.
Right.
And then, you know, I was doing my partying and carrying on and stuff like that before I had Daryl.
Right.
So once I had him, I settled down a good bit.
Mm-hmm.
I guess when he was about 3-year-old, I started partying a little bit, you know, again. But I mean, I did what I could.
Right.
You know, I was on government assistance.
Right.
Even though I was working 2 jobs.
Wow.
You know, just it wasn't cutting it.
And you know, I had someone a couple months back, it was last year actually, and she was talking about how she was on government assistance, and she was saying how she was now her life literally changed. You know, husband, you know, just everything is just flowing. So, what would you say to that woman, that female, that, you know, that need that help on government assistance, but afraid of what people want to say.
If you got to have the help, then you have to have the help. You should never worry about what anybody has to say when it comes to, you needing some type of assistance.
Right.
Way right now, this world is going with this president.
Yeah.
We're gonna leave that off.
I gotta sip some tea. I gotta sip some tea on that one right there.
It's everything is overrated with price. Your gas is then going up so high. It's taking me $65 to fill up my car, where a couple of weeks ago it was only 40.
Right.
45.
We get to the gas pump. Yeah, I'm on 93 now or 87. Which one is it? 93, 93 or 87? Which one?
And see, and luckily my Nissan takes the 87. If I was still driving the BMW, I would have been at the 93. So but I mean, with the trucks, we're getting diesel.
Ooh,
so that's killing us.
I saw, I think it was Marty, and I think he had a reel, and he was pumping for the truck, and he was at $900 and something dollars.
Yeah,
I'm like, whoa,
$400 some dollars in at a time right now.
One time a week?
No, sometimes twice a week, depending on where he has to go.
Oh, Lottie.
And then, I mean, he went to.
That's a car payment. That's a mortgage.
Yeah,
you double up.
He went to, I want to say, New York 2 weeks ago. No, Texas, and he put $1,000 worth of fuel in the truck to go there and back.
I mean, my heart hurt, and I ain't paid.
It's ridiculous.
So gas prices for real, for fuel, it's up there.
Yeah. So I mean, if you need it, that's what I'm saying. If you need assistance, get the assistance.
Right.
Don't say, well, these people's going to talk about me.
Right.
Because you've got to be able to feed your family and take care of yourself.
Right.
So if you can't feed your kids or your family, then you have everybody else stepping in and trying to take your kids from you and everything else.
Jesus. So what would you say with people that don't need that assistance, that's still on that system? Because, like you said, you had it for a period of time in your younger days, of course now, you're good.
Right. Well, like Daryl's 25. The last time I remember getting assistance, he was 15.
Wow.
So, they said I made too much working for Dr. Kumar. So they took me off.
Wow. But it was this, that what was put in place for the system, it helped you in your younger days.
Yeah. I ended up with the food stamps. I got AFDC for a while. Government housing.
Right. When you look at that, your journey, those ashes, you look at yourself now like, wow, I came a long ways.
Yeah, I have.
Wow.
I have.
Right.
My kids and I had moved to Somerville a few years ago.
Yeah.
Before we found out my dad was sick.
Right.
And so once we found out he was sick, we moved back to Walterboro. And they had a home next door to where I'm staying at now, which used to be their home. So, I really hadn't had to worry about going out and purchasing anything.
Right. That's a blessing.
Yeah, it is. Like I said, they gave me that home for me and my kids to live in. Once he got sick, and then once they passed, I moved into their home.
Amen. That's a blessing.
So, I guess it's still all the way around. I'm still being blessed with it.
Still blessed. Yeah. Right. That's amazing. All right. Just two more questions. Let's talk about faith. And I know we hit it a little bit, because that took faith from teenager, up until even now with your business. How do you stay grounded in your faith while managing business, family, and responsibility? How do you stay grounded?
Well, I stay grounded because I know with prayer, everything happens.
Yeah.
If you don't have faith in God, knowing that He's going to do it for you, it's not going to get done. You can say, well, this is what I want. Years ago, I was like that.
Wow.
I was like, okay, yeah, it really shifted. And I guess going through a lot of other traumatic things with my ex-husband,
right,
changed a lot of the way I started seeing things. So, it's
Right.
Yeah. I've been
Right.
through a
Yeah.
lot more
Yeah.
than what I care to
I know.
explain.
I know. That's why I didn't touch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, without God, there you have nothing.
Right. Right.
You know, so if you don't know how to talk to him and pray about it, you're not going to receive it.
Right. Right. But what do you say without touching it? Which I didn't go in that area. How do a woman open their heart back to love?
It's
What?
hard. It's you really have to get to know somebody. And I guess that's another thing where it didn't bother me that it had been 9 years we dated before we got engaged.
Right. Because you were still healing.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, like
you're still healing.
There's a lot.
Right.
But yeah.
What will you say to that woman who, went through something traumatic with one relationship, but then this man right here, he ain't the same, as
that's the ones they give the hard time to.
About to hit that.
They do. And
because they're not.
I give Eric a hard time sometimes.
They're not that person.
He ain't perfect either.
Yeah, but they're not that person.
No.
But then through the healing process, you'll see one little thing like, like no,
yep. Like deal with you or
like
not.
listen. Yeah. But then it takes time, it takes patience, and it takes continual healing.
It does,
right? And you did it.
Yeah, and you got to ask God to heal you.
You did it. You did it. You did it. I remember, the football games, going and this, looking. So there's a lot that, I saw through the years. And, I'm proud of you. I am. You're a strong woman. Because you kept your faith and you kept it 10 toes down. You're the same person I saw way back then when they're on the little travel league team. And now you're the same, and you always kept a smile. People don't realize, that someone could be they're smiling, but you never know what literally is going on.
You never know what that smile is hiding. That's right.
Yeah, but now the smile is there for real.
Yeah, it's definitely a big change in things that I've dealt with.
Yeah. And what will you say to women out there that's saying, I'm just gonna hang this hat up with love, and just too much went on, and the man of my dreams or whatever, we can build together. What would you say to her?
You can't give up. It's God's gonna put in place what you need.
That's good.
You just have to stand back, listen to him. You can't just say, well, this is what I want. Oh, he's sexy. Let me try that, whatever.
Yeah.
You've got to sit back and listen to what God tells you.
That's good. That's good. That's good. Y'all sit back and listen for real. Amen. All right. Last question. What has God been teaching you? I know I asked you a little bit, but now that we went through all those questions, all that stuff, what you say now? I won't say that. I'm gonna say it. What is God in by this interview on tonight? What do you believe now in this season God is ushering you to do and be?
I think that I really don't know. I really don't know.
As an honest answer.
Well, I don't want to tell you something and
yeah,
I really don't know.
Even tonight, I will say this. Even tonight, by this interview, I know you've helped somebody. I know you have helped someone know that you can be a teenage mom, and you still can now years and years later you can I'll say this. I'll go back. You've been a teenage mom. Mm-hmm. You've been on assistance through the years as in your younger years.
Right.
You went through a relationship that was, wow. Now you're in a marriage to a man that loves you, and now you're a business owner.
Yes, ma'am.
So I would say that life teach you, hold on. Yeah. Because if you were to look at if you look back, that 16-year-old, not even that. You were 16 and you found out that day that you were pregnant, you probably couldn't have seen this today.
No, I don't think I could have. I really don't.
Yeah. You did it. You dropped out, but you went back.
Right. And even though I was told I wouldn't do it, I
Mm.
still did it. Like I said, and I know Mr. Douglas Bullock is no longer with us, but I give thanks to him.
Mm. Wow, that's amazing. So before we close on tonight, what will you, if you look at that camera, then your son and your daughter, if they're looking on tonight, what would you want to say to your son and your daughter on tonight?
Well, I have some strong kids.
Yeah.
And just continue to stay strong. You know, my son is not where he needs to be.
Well, he ain't where he used to be neither.
No, he's not.
And I don't know him.
He's not. My daughter's doing very well.
Yeah.
She's a business owner, school teacher.
Awesome.
Married. You know, she's doing very well. They just bought them a new home and all.
Awesome.
I'm very proud of her.
Mm.
And my son, he's trying to be a father.
Right.
Trying to be a father to his daughter that his dad was never to him.
Right.
So, you know, I'm proud of him for that.
Right.
You know, I called him early today. I was like, I have your daughter. Came right over.
Wow.
Just to see her because you don't get a chance to see her very often.
Right.
He's not perfect.
Right.
But like I said, he's trying.
He's trying, yeah. So then if you look at that camera, what would you say to your husband?
Stop getting on my nerves. No, he's a wonderful husband.
Yeah.
You know, he's a great provider. He's pushes. You know, he constantly pushes.
Amen.
And I don't care how tired he is, he's constantly moving and doing something.
Right. Good man.
Yeah, he's a good man.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Listen, y'all, good countryman.
Oh yeah.
He said GP Greenpoint. So you said it's a good man in Greenpoint? Is anything good? I'm joking. Yeah, it took you a minute, but you're here. Oh my God. That's another podcast for another day. Oh my God. Jesus. That's another podcast for another day. But he here, yo. He made it. Oh, he made it.
That's right.
You asked me now when we were 15 and 16, then they went in our 20s. Oh, but he made it. Glory to God. So before we come to a close on tonight, and you know, I'm a preacher, right? So we close like 2 or 3 times, and I think we're on the third time now. I thank you again for coming on. I do have a gift for you on tonight, but what will you, any final words to any female on tonight, because the topic is beauty for ashes, or anyone that's in general that's watching tonight? What's your final words you want to say to them?
Pray. Give thanks. No matter what you're going through, there's something always better.
Yeah.
You know, once you give it to God, let him heal you. Let any brokenness that you have.
Come on.
You know, you've got to give it to him. That's the only way you're going to find joy. Only way.
Jesus. Got to give it to him. So we have a gift on tonight. You want to hit that commercial right quick? Awesome. So we have a gift on tonight. And the thing about it is when I give gifts, I'm like, okay, Holy Spirit, you know, kind of guide me into the person's personality. You know, I like that I know the person, but I don't know the person.
Right.
You know, that's what kind of make it, you know, to me, authentic. Even the questions on tonight, if everybody watching my podcast and know every question I have for each guest is different. Depends on the guest. And I thank you again because you're like, I'm coming, but I'm a little nervous now. I'm like, you'll be okay. He's like, you know, we at a cafe, we sipping on tea. She even tried the tea, but she's not a hot tea person. Glory to Jesus, but you still. So I thank you for just push. To me, that says a lot. It's love is action. And right. You did an action thing for me, and you know me, but don't know me. You understand what I'm saying? Right. So I thank you for just doing that and coming on and just sharing your story. And I know someone is touched by it. I know somebody, you know, it's just the nuggets, picking up the nuggets and picking up the parts, and know that what God did it for Karen, If Karen push, listen, I can do the same thing too.
Right.
So I believe hope has been restored on tonight as well. So I have a gift. Like I said, I was asked Holy Spirit what type of gift to get. So I got you a water mug or whatever you want to put inside of it. And the actual cup is thankful.
Appreciate it.
And I have you some tea, some good tea in here as well.
Okay.
And then I got you. I said, and this is my first time actually getting a candle. When I saw this, I just thought about you. And I thought about, don't tell me why I thought about lemonade. When I saw it, I'm like, lemonade. It didn't make sense then, but it makes sense now that you took them lemons and you turned them into lemonade. And I love the smell of just this. I love the pink lemonade smell of that. So I got it tight.
It almost smells like a Starburst. I like that smell.
Yeah. So thank you again for coming on. Appreciate I have you some tea so you can do it hot or cold. But it's some healthy tea when you're on the road and you around with all them people and the bikers and all that good stuff. That's right. You can drink your tea, build up your immune system.
Appreciate it. And you must know I love cups.
Cups.
I've got coffee mugs galore, and I collect the other cups because I do smoothies and all too.
Oh, you do smoothies and all?
Mm-hmm. So I put my smoothies in these type of cups.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. What kind of smoothie? What's one of your favorite smoothies?
I just been making them from fruits and yogurt.
Okay.
And adding in turmeric and black pepper and ginger.
Listen, give me you got it. You listen. That's what I'm talking about right there now. You got to add that turmeric and that black pepper to activate that curcumin inside that turmeric.
Right.
Awesome. Amazing. Y'all listen, it's been good on tonight. We had the one and only Miss Karen Danzler. Before we actually leave, y'all, I want to say this declaration on tonight. Let me give you this declaration. All right. Beauty for ashes. I declare that every place of ashes in your life is being exchanged for beauty. Every wound is being healed with divine wisdom, and every delay is giving birth to purpose. May clarity replace confusion, peace replace pressure, and bold faith rise in you to walk fully in your next season. You are not behind. Look, I'm going to tell you again, you are not behind. You are being prepared. And what God started, he is faithful to complete in you. In Amen. Jesus the Christ's name. Love you guys. It is Tea Talk with Prophetess Wives podcast, Beauty for Ashes, our 11th episode. I want to say season, episode, 11 episode. All right, see you guys later. Bye.